What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on the Space Engineers Inspiration series. Now, this may look a bit odd to some of you because we have water in the game at the moment. This is done specifically for this particular build because I didn't know if it actually used thrusters or anything like that, or if it was specifically designed for the water mod in mind because it was designed as a submarine. So I went ahead and loaded the water mod in a planet that had water and a whole bunch of whatever else I needed to do. It wasn't too difficult, but just kind of bear that in mind if you wanted to make use of this build. Although, Keen, seriously, water, guys, let's go. Anyway, just throwing that out there. So this is actually the Nautilus submarine build. For any of you that remember the Disney movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, it caught my eye as soon as I saw it on the workshop. I was like, whoa, is that the 20,000 Leagues submarine? Really cool ship. Really neat. I do love, especially that this is vanilla. Even the little attention to detail, like all the little spine things on the hull and stuff like that. Really cool. Quite a bit. Oh, it's even got a little rotor. Huh? I didn't even notice that. It's got a little fin back here. I doubt that actually does anything, but it's a cool touch for detail. That's really cool. It is a fairly small ship. Oh, there's even a lower hatch too. I didn't see. I don't think there's a huge amount of interior, but we're going to check it out nonetheless. Now, the other thing I need to point out is that it does mention these hatches are not airtight or sealed, and there is a modded version that's also available, but I wanted to show off the vanilla one just because I think it's more impressive that they did this in vanilla without any mods. So bear that in mind if you were actually like wanting to really make use of it and stuff like that, but you needed something to be pressurized. So we obviously got the bridge type thing here. I did have to pop in here just for a second because the ship was sinking, so I had to set its surface controls to activated so it would keep it on the surface. Hence surfacing. Why can I not? That was weird. It wouldn't let me descend. Alright, so we're here inside. I don't see... I guess, can we get this from here? Oh, I guess we can. Okay, cool. I was gonna say, I don't see a hatch for it. Now, this would be the way up to the main bridge, or, well, not really bridge, it's more of a cockpit in this particular ship because it's just like a one-seater. Now, I'm not going to lie, I don't remember much of the interior of the ship in the movie. I can't lie about that. I will say that I don't feel like it's doing this build a disservice to say that the ship in the movie, I think, was really big. In terms of, like, I remember some of the interior shots from the movie was like, you know, they had these big dining rooms and stuff like that. That's what made it really impressive at the time, was that it was this massive ship, I think, unless I'm getting it very wrong. But obviously, this one wasn't really even designed with that type of approach in mind because it's a smaller ship and stuff like that, so I feel like that's kind of goes without saying. But that's just my opinion. I don't really know. The description is fairly light on some of that stuff. But this leads back to the lower hatch that we saw on the ventral side. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. One of these days. This looks like... Okay, this is all glass, but I'm trying to figure out what kind of engines it's using. I think these are hydrogen? I think? Or are they... I can't remember if it's the hydrogen ones or if it's the Atmo ones that they didn't do anything with. Batteries, that's all got that readout. Alright, you know what? I didn't want to have to, but I'm going to. Atmospheric thrusters, okay. So they're using atmospheric thrusters, which means it is not really a spaceship. Some of these ships, they're designed to look one way, but then they end up being multifunctional. This one definitely seems like it is a spaceship, although it does have a hydrogen tank, or has multiple hydrogen tanks on it, so maybe we got a cool little reactor room thing. That's awesome! Yeah, so we've got the Atmo thrusters there. I'm seeing a lot of hydrogen tanks, but I'm not seeing a lot of hydrogen thrusters, so I'm wondering if they're either hidden, or if it's using hydrogen engines for power, or something to that effect. Or it's just for cosmetic. I'm not really sure. We've obviously got batteries and stuff as well. But overall, I gotta give it props. It's a really cool design. I really like the look of it, and it's a design that I think holds up even to present day. I'd actually like to see a remake of that movie. That would be really good. Like, well done, obviously, not like typical remakes, but anyway. Moving along. So, I did read the description, and like I said, I have tested out a little bit just because I had to get it to surface, but you've got dive controls, which increase and decrease the dive speed, and then it toggles the dive on and off. Same with the surface over here. You increase and decrease the speed, and then you toggle the dive on. There is a forward type speed. I'm assuming it's like an override rather than you hitting the W key kind of thing. There is a stabilizer control, which I believe said uses the keyboard to turn the ship as opposed to the mouse, which you can turn off and then it controls it via the mouse, I believe. We've got the antenna, projector, I'm assuming for repair like we just did with the window. Camera, I'm not really sure where that's located. We've got spotlights, interior lights, and the top and bottom hatch controls. So overall, pretty easy to use. It's not, I mean, if I can use it. Yeah, so with the stabilizer on, my mouse is not really moving the ship. The WASD keys are. I actually don't like that, so I'm going to turn that off and see if that did not change anything. Okay, we'll turn it back on. I guess that's how we're going to control it then. So yeah, let's go ahead and, I don't know how deep it is here. It doesn't look super deep. I just kind of pasted it in the water. I wasn't really looking at that. So we'll turn off the surface. We'll turn on the dive. And then once we're under, we'll turn the dive off. And that should let us sit where we are. And then if we hit 6... I love the propeller on the back. That is priceless. That's awesome. And then we can turn with our WASD keys. That is so cool. Keen, come on, we need water. I mean, I know we're all afraid of getting a review of our game that says too much water, but we need water. That's so cool. You can actually have a submarine. I feel like it's Subnautica now. Subnautica with 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea's ship, which is awesome. So anyways, being that this is a bit of a smaller ship and stuff, there's not a whole lot left to really look at, but I think it works really well, and I really wish this was something that could be done in vanilla without the need for modding and whatnot. Technically speaking, it's all using the same thrusters and everything. They wouldn't even really need to do any water physics or anything. You just need something like this water setup. It wouldn't really even have to do anything. And I'm assuming it's got reverse ones that are always on or something, because all I did was turn the forward thrust off and it stopped. So, but anywho, with that, we're going to wrap this one up, this really cool one up, and let's move on to the next one. Alright, so next up we have the Chilopoda. Chilopoda. I don't know. This particular contraption. This is another one of those that on the workshop just caught my eye and I went, what the heck? Now, according to the description, it does mention that this is not entirely like a fully completed, I guess, or something, that they weren't entirely happy with it, but they just didn't want it to go to waste, yada yada, so they changed the feed or something that wasn't working. So I just wanted to point that out in case anybody else found error or I broke it or something, that it may or may not be functioning the way it's supposed to, but it looked really cool and crazy and I wanted to feature it anyway. So yeah, obviously it's a fairly small ship. It doesn't have an interior or anything like that. It's just the fact that it's this centipede-like crawly thing, which, again, some things with the Inspiration series are like, wow, this is a massive build with all this detail and things, but some things are just a proof of concept thing that I find very crazy. So according to the description, we don't actually have any controls on here. According to the description, the spacebar raises the head, and the forward and reverse keys speed it up and slow it down. And it does say to speed up and slow down slowly because it takes time for the key to register, as well as apparently the head, you change the direction with the WASD keys again, and the body follows. So we're trying to do that now. I'm hoping I don't break anything. So I suppose if I zigzag with the direction, we can get some of that kind of typical bug, creepy crawly type shapes going on. It's actually working really well. I mean, most builds have a hard time with 2 legs. So the fact that all of these legs are moving and we're not really breaking anything yet, kind of impressive. Kind of impressive to me, not gonna lie. Yeah. I do kind of wish the head was a bit more stable so that it didn't jostle the camera around so much, but I mean, that's a small gripe, really, when you actually have this kind of functional centipede mech thing. But yeah, overall, I'm super impressed with this, mainly because nothing has blown up or exploded yet. Yeah, that's really cool. I have no idea how people do this. I spend most of my time just trying to make functional builds that don't blow up. And then you got people making submarines and centipedes and stuff, and I'm like, well, I need to improve some of my building abilities, I suppose. But yeah, so anyways, unfortunately, being that this is a bit of a smaller build, there's really not a whole lot else to really show off with it. I just thought it was really super cool and creative, and just kind of another example of some of the things people can do with space engineers when they put their mind to it and figure things out and know how to do it without making everything explode and go everywhere. I'm still kind of blown away by these feet, not gonna lie. There's like hinges and rotors. It sounds like it's kind of clanging together a little bit, but I haven't actually seen anything break, so I'm gonna switch to spectator mode so I can stop giving y'all a headache, including myself. But that's kind of crazy. That's kind of cool, not gonna lie. And I actually do like the design of it too, like the little pincer thing on the back end and all that kind of stuff. It's very well done. And it tears up palm trees. Look at that. So with that, I think that's all we can really mess around with this one without getting into stress testing, which I don't think is advisable for me. So let's move on to the last build. Okay, and last but not least, we have the Dawn class cruiser. Now, there's a little bit of stuff that needs to go along with this one as we do a flyby here. This jagged block thing should not be there. It's listed in the description as a bug because the builder used basically damaged blocks to create curves and bevels, which is really cool. And if you look at the description, or the workshop file in the description, you'll see that it should look way cooler than this. Unfortunately, I could not get this to undo or work. I read the description file and it says that it should only happen once, but if you reload the blueprint or if you do different things, it should be able to fix it. I could not get it to fix. I reloaded the blueprint a bunch of times. I couldn't actually find the blueprint file anywhere that was being referenced in the description, and I even tried to make a local copy of it, like, you know, just make a new blueprint off of it and do it that way. That didn't work, so I do apologize that I'm showing it off in its not intended state, but it is really a cool build, so I didn't want to not show it. Hopefully you guys have a easier time with this. And it could be something that I have in a setting that I didn't know would affect it or something. I'm fairly certain that I have block damage and stuff like that turned on, but I could be wrong. So that could be another component as to why it's not working. But if it wasn't... I feel like it has to be, though, because otherwise it wouldn't look weird. It would just look like regular blocks that are undamaged, I would think. I don't know. Anyway, I say all that just to say that this is not how it's supposed to look, so use the thumbnails and stuff as more of a guide than this, in terms of the exterior anyway. This is pretty interesting. Again, we've got the same thing going on here. Now, one thing is, if I pull back far enough, the light panel things here seem to be working, so I wonder if I go back far enough if you guys could actually see the intended look. It's sort of, kind of, not really. I think that's just LOD at that point. Anyway, I'll move on. But I just wanted to set that as a disclaimer in case the builder was watching this going, hey, I tried, it wouldn't fix. So... But you can see in the screenshots and stuff how crazy this build actually looks when it's done in the proper way that it's supposed to be built as. For doing it with vanilla and using the kind of deformation type stuff to make the kind of looks that the ship hull has is just nuts. Like, that's a whole nother level of craziness, in my opinion. Also, kudos for having a very easy to find door for some of us that have problems with that. I really should, now that I do have a Teespring store going on, which, by the way, I haven't really been promoting too much yet because I was still working out some of the kinks and stuff. We do have masks, by the way, just in case anybody needs one. Go for it. Might as well. Anyway, but I should actually have shirts made up once I figure out an actual slogan that I want to use for like door challenged. You know, I do think that would be kind of funny. Now, it also has some interior stuff that I wanted to look at. We somehow ended up at the bridge and CIC. This is kind of cool. This is a cool, like, server room looking type thing. I like it. But yeah, we somehow ended up in the bridge, which is usually the last place that I try and check out. I will say that I'm also feeling a little bit of a performance impact on it. Just FYI for any of you that may be running... Dang nabbit, I keep hitting the control panel. Any of you that may be running lower end, mid to lower end systems and stuff, just kind of keep that in mind, that this is a little bit of a performance hog. Like, it's fine-ish right now. Like, when we're moving through here, I don't see... I'm not thinking I'm seeing too many frame drops or anything like that. But outside, from a third-person perspective, we were getting a decent little frame hit. Now, I am seeing some sim speed impact, so that's something else to keep in mind, just in terms of if you were trying to load this onto something with a planet or blah, 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 blah. Holy crap! There's a lot of floors to this. This actually reminds me a bit of The Raid, for any of you that have seen that movie. Kind of reminds me of that stairway system they had going on. So I don't know if this is 100% survival ready and so on, but it does seem to have a fairly decent interior, and we can see some cargo containers that we just saw over there a second ago, etc. and so on. I don't know if each deck is the same. It doesn't look like it. Oh my. Okay. I'm suddenly realizing this could take a minute to see all there is to see. Wow, this is cool. Okay. This actually... Okay, so for any of you that have played Fallout 4, this kind of gives me the, oh, what were they called? The Institute's hydroponics lab vibe kind of thing, for any of you that know that part of the game. Horizontal cryo chambers. That's different. This almost looks like a theater. Is this supposed to be a theater? Or a propaganda brainwashing area? What's going on here? I mean, from this angle it looks like horizontal cryo chambers. From this angle, it almost looks like a theater type thing. I don't know. Either way, it's cool. It's kind of different. Other than aesthetics, I don't really know what the point would be in having them horizontal instead of just having them as vertical, because they take up the same amount of space, but whatever. This is pretty cool. So yeah, just anytime you see any of these weird glitchy things going on, that's basically blocks that have been damaged, I believe, to create curved shapes and things like that. So again, I really did want to show it off the way that it looked, because the screenshots looked amazing, but I, for the life of me, just could not get it to load right. So I don't know if that could be a culprit from some of the updates or something. I mean, I doubt it, because the workshop file was actually posted like on the 30th or something, which I think there was a small update or something, another batch of collision box things, but I don't see why that would affect the damage level, but I don't know. Anyway, I just feel bad that it's not really being shown off the way that it's meant to be, but there wasn't a whole lot I could do about it, so I just kind of opted to better to show most of it, and maybe it'll work for you guys. Who knows? Maybe I could be doing something wrong or have a setting wrong or something like that. Would not be the first time. But mainly it was like, you know, the description referenced deleting a certain file. I couldn't find it. I went through all of my different folders that had blueprints and stuff, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I don't know exactly how you're supposed to do that, but I digress. So yeah, it actually has a decent hanger too. I mean, we've got... There's 3 per row and 4 rows, so we've got 12 connectors, and 4 of them are relatively larger pads, so you could have a decent-sized mining or whatever type ships going on. Okay, I also like this. This is a neat idea. That's not something I don't think I've seen very often. So we've got half blocks here, and then base ramp slopes up at the top, so you get this more 2x1 ramp slope, but then over here we've got full blocks and regular slopes, so it actually gives it this asymmetrical kind of curve, and I'm assuming the other side is the mirror effect, which I think is actually kind of cool. It's a little different than just having a angled ceiling. Yeah, so this is the flipped version of that. That's actually a neat idea. I think that's pretty cool. I'll admit, because we have a lot of the same lighting and there's not a lot of signs and stuff, there are some of these rooms that I'm... Ooh, that's cool. Some of these rooms that I'm losing a bit of the purpose for. Like, some rooms you can walk in, like this. You can walk in and kind of be like, okay, hydrogen tanks, jump drive controls, got it. You know, like, this is some form of engineering. But some of the rooms, I'm not really sure what they're for. I really like this glass setup. Like, this shape is really cool. So we've got kind of just this basic, I don't know what you would call it. It's not really hex because it's not 5-sided, but it's got this kind of hex angle type thing going on. And then you've got the center tube of hydrogen tanks in the middle, which is really neat. I like that. And I also really like this framing around the jump drive things. That's pretty cool. And how it meshes into... I really just like the architecture of this room, to be honest, because even the... this part right here kind of blends into that hex tunnel type thing. But yeah, and then it kind of comes up here. That's really cool. I really like this room. The layout of this room is really neat. Okay, this looks like it's off the back-ish area. And again, not too sure. We've got the gravity controls here. I also like this technique. I've seen this done a few times, where you use corner LCDs and stuff, but it's kind of like light bars. That's pretty cool. And this is kind of an aft. I don't know if that's weapon focused, maybe? Because I saw on the back, either through a projector or something, there was a red laser type thing, and I don't know if that's where I am or not. Probably a designator for these cannons, because there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the top, and it looks like at least 3 on the bottom. Ooh, we gotta check out that lower observation or bridge area. That looks cool. But I'm guessing those red lasers that we saw earlier, I'm assuming are the designators for those like turret type cannons, and I believe those do have their own blueprints. In the description on the workshop file, I believe they were listed as separate blueprints, or that they could be if you wanted them on their own. Oh, so there's one thing. We came in this room and I said I didn't know what it was, but I missed this jump drive right here, so that could have had something to do with it. And there's one back here. Got little passenger seats on the side here. And I just sort of realized that we're actually walking through the center portion of those hallways that I've mentioned earlier. Okay. Man, there is a lot to this ship. This is a huge ship. I'm not gonna lie, I did not realize how massive this thing was until we started running around looking at it. I will say, this is just a personal thing, a personal critique, if you will, but not really a right, wrong, or indifferent. I do feel like some different coloring, like in either lighting or blocks or something, could go a long way to mix things up a little bit and add some diversity to the build. Although, as big as this build is, I will say I totally understand doing it all in one scheme so that you didn't have to take a whole lot of time and actually color code and do different things in a whole bunch of settings. Yeah, those lasers, I'm guessing, are designators. So this is kind of cool. I like in this area. You guys know me, I like any kind of observation area and whatnot. I'm not seeing any way to control those guns, so I'm guessing they're actually in the main cockpit. Unless this one is one. Nope. So I'm guessing they're controlled from the main bridge. That's gonna be my guess. Okay, so we found that. Okay, that's there. I don't think we went all the way. I don't know if that was actually faster or not. I don't know if we went all the way through here. I don't think we did. So we've got kind of your processing area here with the gyroscopes and refineries and cargo, all that good stuff. Good stuff. Stuff we need. Okay. So let's check and see. This is the hangar. Alright, so we explored that direction, but not this whole floor, it seems. So we got another hallway area here. Okay. And this is kind of the med bay area, which is very nice. I like it. Ooh, we've got a... That was interesting. It was a locked door. Perhaps this area is not totally pressurized all the time. Okay, so we're back here now. I still can't figure out why that's laid out that way. It looks really cool, it's just different. So I'm guessing this is going to lead us back to, yeah, the galley area. Okay. So, with that, I think we've seen most of the stuff for this ship. I think. And, if that be the case... Whoop! Wrong way. I meant to go this way, because I need that stairwell. And then this is kind of an observation. This goes to the cryo, or the hydroponics room. Okay. And that goes to that cargo room that we checked. Nope, that goes to the cargo room. Don't mind me, I know where I am. Okay, and this was that one of the main access points, I believe. Okay. We're getting there. I'm figuring this thing out a little at a time. Okay. This one... Oh, that is the main bridge. Okay, so then where does this go? What goes higher? I feel like we already went to the top. I could be wrong, and likely am. Oh, definitely am. Okay. So this is... Ooh! Ooh! I take it back. That other room must be a CIC. And this must actually be the bridge. Holy cow! This is cool. Okay, this is cool. What do they do here? We've got a floor, and then essentially the walls that go around this edge are on a small block grid. That's cool. Okay, and there's the bridge, or the what I was saying was the bridge before, I think. Nope. Nope, this is a whole different thing. Isn't it? Yep, this is a whole different... Ooh, that's cool. I love those. Yeah, this is a whole different bridge. Wait, how do you get through here to here normally? Oh, I see. This is... Okay, this is the block glitch. Again, these should be curved and stuff to allow access. Okay. Again, my bad. Alright, and this is... this away. Okay. Okay, okay. That's cool. I like that. Alright. So this has got to be the main one then, right? Yeah. Okay. So we've got remote control, fire, loading, single shot mode, salvo mode, automatic loading switch, default open, camera. Oh, automatic loading switch, maybe it's set to default as open? I'm not sure what that means. What was it? Number 5? That's lighting, so that's probably... Wait a minute. Am I on the right control thing? Maybe not. Ah! Okay, yeah, now I'm controlling the remote. So, what is this stuff then? We've got turret controller for the various turrets. It looks like inside, outside lighting, hangar door inside and outside, planet projector. I think that's what's in front of me, maybe. Hangar doors. Hangar door controls for that. Okay, so that's kind of just the basics. Let's give this a go and see how it flies. I don't know if this is going to work or not. So for the size of the ship, not terrible. Oh, by the way, the panning back thing is kind of working. If you look at the bow, you can kind of see how it's supposed to be looking right there. And when I get closer, you can see how it turns all spiky and rigid, but then that goes back to more... So the level of detail thing is kind of working on how it's supposed to look. But up close, it's not for some reason. So, there's that. But yeah, it actually accelerates pretty good for a ship of this size. And you can see down in the bottom right corner, it's fairly hefty in terms of its weight. Turning and rotation, again, my sim speed is a little slower, so I don't know in real time how it's actually moving, but not terrible. Again, for a big, massive battleship type of thing, not really that bad. I'm blown away that all that kind of detail, barring the bug with the deformation glitch, but I'm blown away that that much of ship design and hull design and all that can be in a vanilla ship. That's pretty crazy. Okay, so we did the flight test type of thing right off the bat. So let's go ahead and toggle into our remote blocks. Okay, so now we've got the fire loading single shot mode is off. Salvo mode is stopped. Automatic loading is on, I guess. Camera view, laser sight. Oop, what is this? Looks like the same thing. Maybe for a different turret? It's changing here. Automatic loading versus... automatic loading. Okay. Interesting. Not sure what the diff is there. So if we switch over to 6, yep, so that laser sight is kind of the designator thing. So if we hit fire? Maybe we have to load it first. Sounds like a good, basically a good conclusion. Okay, so I hit fire. I'm not seeing it fire, though. I'm probably breaking things at this point, is my suspicion. I don't know what's going on, but those sounds... not sounding like it's working as intended. But I've broken quite a bit on this ship already because I couldn't get it to load right. So, I feel like we're on par for the course. So, yeah, those, man, those cannon things, though, they look cool. I don't know if that projection part is something that's supposed to be like a torpedo that's welded up and then fired and they're empty now, or if that's just to give it an energy look. If it's the latter, dude, those look cool. But yeah, I think we're going to wrap things up here for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.